I have, pound for pound, the longest golf club in the world. Guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. So I'm down here at Burford Golf Club. Dwayne, one of our members, kindly has dropped this one iron that he's found in the back of the garage, and this is probably a typical club that you would find in your garage if you've been playing for a long time, or if you've got parents that used to play a long while ago. This thing must be about 20 plus years old, and as I said, you're going to find it in a garage sale, you're going to find it in a car boot sale, you're going to find it in a charity shop. Pretty much worthless in terms of resale unless you know what you are looking for. And for someone that loves driving irons, someone that needs something that just gets you down the middle, not too high launching, this is going to be unbelievable. Now the sim, our golf lab, is booked with fittings and lessons all day today, so I'm going to go in and hit this. I've got about 20-25 minutes just to basically rattle a few shots off and get a good idea of how far this thing goes. I'm going to be quite optimistic and say we're definitely going to get more than 250, 260 out of it, and see how forgiving it is, see what it compares to against out there, because the only issue I have with driving irons nowadays is that they are definitely appealing to the mass market, which is good, but for your high club speed player that needs a low penetrating ball flight, a lot of these irons, like the Gapper range for example, just launch the ball way too high, and that's not what you want. You don't want to rescue, you want a 1 iron, 2 iron, and this thing is definitely going to produce, as I said, £1 from a boot sale. I think on eBay they're probably going to be like 20 quid, because no one's going to sell a club for £1, but that's if you can find one. The grip is very well worn, so to be perfectly honest, there's no reason why I wouldn't re-grip this and put this in the bag. This potentially is something that I might take to the YouTube golf day, just for A, people to play with, and B, for me to actually use, because, well, it just looks like a bit of a monster. Guys, if you like this video, leave it a like. As always, please subscribe, and I think it's about time we put this beauty to the test and see exactly how far it goes. Okay, so here is why I say this is the longest club in the world, pound for pound. Now, I had all of 7 minutes to as many shots as I can. As you'll see halfway through this video, Duncan's lesson then comes in and watches, and I have a quick chat with him. So I'm not particularly focused on getting the best out of this club, however it still produces. Now you go back in terms of older clubs, so I'm talking drivers, I'm talking 3-woods, whatever it is, they're producing a lot of spin. That is predominantly what I've found with older technology. Not necessarily ball speed. I mean, ball speeds come along, don't get me wrong. However, spin rate's the one that's killing it the most. I did a review on the Ping G10. It felt great. It was a good looking club. However, the spin rate was like 4,000, something stupid like that. This 1 iron, however, just through pure physics, because it hasn't got a lot of weight behind the ball like 3-woods and like 2 irons nowadays, just produces this ultimate low ball flight with no spin whatsoever. And I hit this for 260 for days, and I got some absolute monsters out of it as well. As I said, I spent all of about 7 minutes just hitting balls after balls, not really focusing as much as I should have done, but it delivered. And as I said, spin rate is key in hitting a long golf ball, and this 1 iron is good and also forgiving. Like, don't get me wrong, like I hit some bad shots, like even this one I think I caught a tiny bit heavy, but it gets the ball out there. And it does make me think why irons aren't, or there aren't particular irons nowadays that are still produced like this. And to be honest, as I said, it's probably for the wider market, people that want to be able to hit a driving iron but potentially don't have the swing speed to do it. But for myself, that does swing the ball, or the club I should say, particularly fast, this thing is unbelievable. And as I said, you can get probably one of these that no one really wants anymore. For example, 1 irons are a thing of the past. However, you find this in a charity shop or a car boot sale, you're going to get it for a £5. You're going to get it for less for a £5. I know I said £1, but it just sounded like a good title, £1 for 1 iron. But as I say, in the right hands, this thing is an absolute weapon. There just aren't that many hands that would want this, for example. and it's because it's so low lofted, and you need to have a high ball speed. If you don't have a high ball speed to produce some kind of spin, then you're not going to get much out of this club. However, if you've been looking to get something that just knocks it down there, you don't like a rescue, for example, or your rescue goes too high, for example, the rescues go very high for myself, a traditional old one iron wouldn't particularly be a bad thing to get in the bag. Now I start going after it. I want to see how far I can hit this golf ball, how far and what kind of distances I can get it. And no matter how hard I hit this thing, the spin rate I should say, still kept down. Now I think the highest ball speed I produced with this club was 154, which again is high. I mean, that is close to like 3-wood level, if not higher. And when you caught one with hardly any spin, this thing just went for days. You saw there 276 in terms of total distance. The highest distance I got out of this thing was 281, which you'll see in a minute. It was a bit blocky, but then also goes to show what kind of impact factors and launch angles make a big difference when you're hitting it. This potentially might be the 280 as well. You can see how disgusted I am with myself, how far right I've left this golf ball, but it just runs out to 280, probably out of bounds on most golf courses, but 154 ball speed, and you see there spin rate 2,900. That is so low. So standard chrome soft golf balls is what I'm using, and this thing, not only is it long, it's forgiving, it's got the launch, it's got the power behind the golf ball. Obviously I'm starting to go after it a bit now. Bit of a pull hook, don't get me wrong, both the 280s that I did produce were quite far off target, but I think if I stood in here for half an hour and started to focus, you could get some unbelievably long shots with this club, especially on a golf course, on those par 5s or short par 4s. This is going to be reachable. And for that person that has a super long or fast swing that doesn't necessarily have the tightest dispersion as myself, this thing is a must. There you go, guys. 280. Boom. Monster, pound for pound, longest club in the world. Don't care what you say. That low spin rate is ideal, the launch is great, the forgiveness is awesome, and as I say, it's basically cheap as chips. So Callaway, bring out another one of these, keep it at the same price, and you'll be on to a winner. Even that'll never happen. Guys, thank you ever so much for watching. Dwayne, thank you for lending me this golf club, and I'll catch you guys later.